All right, I'm Pops. I want to talk about AKA. It's a Netflix film. It's a French film, and yeah, let's talk about whether or not I think you'll like it or not. Positives, negatives. I will say this: it was my first experience with some of the team. Alban Lenoir plays the main character. He goes by Adam. There is a director. He's not someone I'm familiar with as well. This is kind of like a first feature. He's been in a cinematography and that kind of thing. I got to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised. So let's get into this a little bit. The context and the details of the film are not really that complicated, but they do have a few, I think, twists and turns that might be of interest to you, and you can kind of decide if you want to give it a whirl or not. So the film is moves pretty quick. It's set in our modern time, and you have this basically this black ops guy, Adam, and it starts with a quick introduction where he's a prisoner. He bursts out. They're in like Tunisia. He's taking out terrorists, rescuing people, that kind of thing. And you're just getting all of that introductory John Rambo type stuff out of the way, right? Then there's like a terrorist attack. There's this thing that's happening out in the world. It has to do with Sudan. It has to do with this local gangster and government agencies, and all of this stuff is kind of put Adam now as like an embed, right? We're going to try to embed him in. We're going to try to have him go total Donnie Brasco, put him on the inside. But instead of let's get information and figure out the who's who's and the what's what, they know everything, right? It's about how do we get to this terrorist guy. And it's a dynamic, interesting element where they know the gangster and his family is the gateway to the connection to this guy, this terrorist, right? He's an Islamic terrorist. And all the performances are fine. Adam is very believable. The boss's wife runs like a nightclub, like brothel. They have a teenage daughter who's more like, kind of like she's right on that edge of being the likable, but she's not naive. She's on what's going on, but she's not like sucked up in it yet. Then there's a young boy named Joe, and he's from a prior relationship, so Victor treats him like crap, right? He's like a stepson, right? So Victor treats him like crap. Then you have some other characters that kind of basically you have all the hired guns and all those players. You have a couple of uh, psyop people that are with Adam and that kind of thing. This movie is only about Adam with just a few other things. You have some father son stuff going on with this kid because Adam is trying to prove his worth not by becoming someone else, but they use his real information to put him in because that's the fastest, easiest way to do it. Hence the also known as yourself, basically. And it moves quickly for him because they'll be very fast to be able to know, okay, he's from Africa, he's been doing these different things. So all of the cover actually like makes, the fake cover is what they sell. And he moves very fast, makes a name for himself. He's like super, super strong and able to hold himself, but he does get battered pretty well, gets injured pretty well. And he's the only one that seems very plugged in to how at risk the family is from all this conflict that's external because I mean, he knows about it firsthand because the government's involved, but the threat that's coming from other stuff and the wife is not on Victor's side. So you have moments of this like of kind of a start stop with the plot line here, but most importantly, you have this bond that he has with his kid because the kid like loves him, wants him to be there for the birthday party, and then when he does, he brings him a punching bag because the kid's having a problem with taller, bigger kids. Victor just screams at him all the time, and all that kind of stuff is what's playing out. And then you have this sort of cat and mouse. Can they get to this terrorist guy? How will that play out? And what will Adam even have to do? Can he even keep the kids safe or not? All of this is kind of going on before you get to the big dark turns and twists near the end of it. So let me get to the trailer, show you some footage, give you some other thoughts here as well. Let's pull this up, pause that, put this here, and drop the overlay. Here we go. All right, so there we go. There's our main character, Alban Lenoir as Adam. I think Adam was kind of a weird name for the character. I assume all of this was in French and the dubbing and some of the dialogue don't quite convince me. So on the computer screen, there's your Taib. He's the name of this terrorist guy they're all after, and you have sort of like these. Oh, so there are these great moments though where you have like how where the spy espionage stuff is done fine. This guy is the handler. Um, we don't really get to like or dislike the handler enough. The handler has more like the political pull string guy. We're supposed to dislike him, but I don't really ever tremendously dislike him. Victor on the phone, and this is just the all setup of go in and gain the trust, get there. This is the wife. Okay, so this was a great scene with the way they use closed caption. That's something I really like this.
De nouveau là.
So they use this shot. They use that setup shot in the closed caption to just show Adam just pummeling people who are getting out of hand. This is him showing the little kid how to fight. And he's just kind of getting sucked into all this stuff. It turns sideways crazy because none of these people that are in Victor's employment really pick up on the cues of when danger is right around the corner. So there's one scene where they do a robbery and the vehicle gets T-boned. There's shooting. There's chaos. And Adam is the only one that has his wits about him. They still treat him very badly. Um, I will say that this all moves pretty quick, and we get some fun, interesting things. It's nothing I think that's really cutting edge or anything like that. Um, and it comes to a head because at the end, he he gets surrounded and he has to turn himself over to police, and in doing so, from afar, you see one of the embedded people. So now Victor's people know he's the cop. But then you also have what the wife has been doing. So everything gets turned on its head so much. So what I'll say is this: it's almost too complicated at the end. Like the second act into the third gets so complicated. They've got so many people, you know, betraying so many other characters. It actually become like too much, and it's almost like too much of a mess. And at the end of the day, it's only about Adam and the little boy and the sister, and it's like, well, really? So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it because I don't want to say I felt like it's kind of there, like Netflix has this habit of doing where it's like in this category with like Gray Man, where it's like it's okay. It's like 2.5 stars. It's a fine shoot 'em up kind of movie. It does a lot of things right, but it doesn't hit all of the beats right. Some of the characters you just don't really get that attached to. So it's hard to feel the motivations they want you to have and react the way they want you to have when you don't have sort total buy-in because almost almost all of it centers around just Adam that we do care about, and we know he's going to live no matter how many times he would get hurt or shot or whatever happens. So that's the general essence of the film. Like I said, middle of the road recommend if you like those kind of shoot 'em up kind of stuff. I would say again, a cinematographer moving into direction. This was a good first step for him. I would hope that this movie does well enough to kind of garner him to get another project, and we'll see him continue to spread its wings. Get something a little more complicated. This doesn't really have any of those like really nice Mission Impossible type technological spy elements that a lot of people have grown accustomed to enjoying. So that might be something that I would have seen a little bit of. It's pretty much more like old school stuff with like hide the you know hide the sensor here, listen to the microphone there, guys in a van listening, like that kind of stuff, which is a little outdated for it to be set today. Almost like the film could have benefited from being set maybe 20 years ago or something, possibly. Maybe right around um, maybe post 9/11 or something like that, where some of this stuff was kind of new to us. So that's my take on it. It's on Netflix, so you guys can check it out for free. You guys let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Pops.